I just need him to switch the slide. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to say something to back up what Danny was talking about in regards to this I just call them the glide paths. Okay, so this is to me the biggest missed opportunity for every law firm. Like it's securing up this back end. And I think about this as creating an insurance policy on your marketing. Because you've got to understand, if you're spending all of this money on the front end for your marketing stuff, and you don't have the back end tightened up, you are leaving just thousands of dollars on the table by the week, right? So I teach this as there's 5 campaigns, okay? And I can get all this stuff to you guys later, but essentially here's how I teach this, and I kind of make it up a little differently every time. But campaign 1 is PNC calls the firm and does not schedule an appointment. They think they're ready, and maybe they find out there's a cost to the consultation and they don't move forward or they're not ready. Or even they call in the realization of actually talking to a law firm is starting to take hold. You guys forget, this is a big deal. Like, you guys are divorcing people every week. You're building out the wills and the trust, and people are dying, and people are getting their green cards. And, like, for you guys, it's like, oh, we're having meatloaf tonight. That's all I care about. For them, it's like they're shaking in their boots when they're on this phone call, right? So if somebody calls your office and does not book an appointment, your phone person's responsibility with a script is to basically get that person's email address and let them know they understand this is a big thing. But in the meantime, how about I just send you a video that the attorney made on this topic? Now you've got a manual follow-up system that somebody can literally track on an Excel spreadsheet. So-and-so called today, I sent them this video, and 2 days later, I'm going to send them a follow-up email with another thing, and I'm going to keep following up until what? They die, or they tell me to go away. Look, the only reason I'm able to step up on this stage today is because of follow-up. We are relentless. Until you tell me to stop or you die, I'm going to keep asking. I got nothing to lose. This is my responsibility as the business owner, period. End of story. Campaign 1. Campaign 2, they call, they book the appointment, you get what you guys are working on right now, right? This pre-glide path. Look, why do I believe video works in this? Is because they're going to either like you or not by the time they come in. That's a plus either way. If they don't like you, they'll cancel the appointment. Fantastic. You saved me some time. This is also where I really get involved with the dragons making this video, right? This gets the attorney out of it. Hey, I'm Jimbo. I'm the client care representative, AKA Dragon. I'm excited to meet with you. Here's what you can expect, right? They're now associating a face with this solution. So that's my second campaign, right? And that's the one you've been working on. My third campaign is they booked the appointment, They showed up to the appointment and they signed on the line which is dotted. I've got 3 campaign templates written out to ensure, 1, no buyer's remorse, right? You've made the right decision. And 2, what was 2? Oh, buyer's remorse. Shit, what was that other one? It was something really important. It was here's what we're doing. We're training them from the get-go on how to be a good client. There's a high chance they don't know how to work with you guys. There's a high chance it's a lot more paperwork than they intended that they thought it was going to be, right? When I went through my divorce and I got hit with all those financial stuff, I wanted to stop. Easier to just stay married. This is a lot of stuff. Turns out it wasn't. But it felt like it in the beginning. It literally had to close the thing. So what if I was prepared for all of these things that were going to come forward? Like, you're setting them up to be that good client and to create a raving fan by the end. So when you ask for that testimonial, they're like, yeah, this was a great experience. All right, 4th campaign. They showed up. They did not sign on the line, which is dotted. We follow up with them until what? Exactly. So you get that campaign. And then the 5th campaign, the 5th one was if you are doing free consults, strategy sessions, whatever, and they book the appointment, but they do not show up, we follow up with them to get the appointment rescheduled until they what? Yeah, perfect. You get it. Okay. So I've got video scripts, templates for every one of those campaigns, at least 3 videos deep. Make sense? Happy to share that. Did I bring what? Yeah, here it is. All right, so nobody wants your lead magnet. Arjan talked about this early. Yeah.
How do we get those templates?
Oh, you got to talk to Kathy Harley.
Okay.
Yeah. She's the dragon, the non-video salesperson.
I highly recommend everyone grab those templates.
If you're working with us already, here's what I'll do. How many of you have not taken a free test drive, which equals a free video? Anybody in this room? All right, we're going to be here all weekend. Sign up for our free test drive. If you already bought from us this morning, you've got it. The way you get it is you take it, let me give you something else for free, and then you can talk to my dragon, and then she'll give it to you. But it's really great. I spent a lot of time on this. So no one wants your lead magnet. Arjan talked about this earlier today, and it was already in my slide, so I was like, I'm not losing this. This is worth reiterating. And it goes back to this psychology, right? They want what the lead magnet can do for them, but no one wants to be in a situation where we have to hire a lawyer, right? So they want the fresh start. They want the citizenship. They want, how do I save my license, if I've been involved in a DUI or something like that. So when we keep that in mind, I'm building up to why video is so important in all of this, okay? Raising your hand takes courage. When you say, yes, I want to know what are the 5 ways I can save money in my divorce, what are the 3 ways I can protect my family, after I'm gone? You're basically admitting I'm ready for help, right? Here's the thing. If all of that information comes through text and emails with no video, you're just giving them information. That's it. You're not providing a connection, right? People buy from people. When you include video in these things, right, in emails and the landing page, etc., all of a sudden, your solution is actually connected to a human being. It's not just information. It's now something that's coming from you, right? So that's why video, okay? Here's a great scenario. Everybody that we've worked with really listens to us. I'm thankful for that. But a lot of times people want to talk about their credentials. They're a super duper lawyer. They've got some kind of plaque that, really they believe sets them apart. You're sick. You go to the doctor. Let's just assume it's not COVID, okay? But you go to the doctor, you don't know what's wrong. You get to the waiting room, you have to fill out the form. You wait for 45 minutes, you get into the room, you wait another 45 minutes. The doctor, she or he, comes into your room. They're wearing a white coat. Has anybody ever stopped them and said, before we get started, can you just remind me where you went to school? Are you one of those super duper doctors I keep hearing about? You assume they're a doctor. The point is, nobody questions the fact that you're a lawyer. They don't. What they question is, do they like you? Do they trust you? Are you charging a fair price for what you're going to do? Is what you're going to do going to actually solve their problem? Right? So when you think about why video, all of a sudden you get a chance to create that know, like, and trust. You get a chance to separate yourself from other attorneys, right? And that's why video, to me, is so important. Whether you do it with us or some other vendor, fine. Do it with another vendor. Just make video. If you make it with us, we're going to hound you until we think you're human enough, right? And some of you, we have to hound even more, right? Because it's like, lighten up, you know? So I know your objections for video. And let me refer to what Danny has been brilliantly teaching us, our surface problems and our not surface problems, the real problems, the deeper problems. So the surface problems around video are the money, the time, and the tech, right? It costs money to make video. It's going to take time to make video. I'm going to have to figure out the camera, the editing, the lights, blah, 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 right? All that stuff. Those are our surface problems. The real problems with video, where it really becomes emotional, is you have to be good. You're going to be judged. If you're not vulnerable or empathetic on your videos at parts, you won't seem like a real human being. And ultimately, you're going to have to be seen on video. And that can be scary. Like, it can be scary to reveal yourself when you're just talking to this lens. You can do it when somebody comes into your office and the door closes and you're like, you feel that energy. There's no energy on video. You have to learn to act a bit, right? So just understand that that's your obstacle to get over. And once you start acknowledging that, hey, I have to choose to be a performer. I have to choose to act, right? And to play to this camera, all of a sudden it starts to become easier. And it's like everything else. Once you start doing it, it becomes better. All right, where are my dog people at? Yeah, raise your hand if you have a dog. Keep them up if you have a dog voice that you like to use, talking to your dog. Who wants to share their dog voice? Anybody brave enough?
Oh, I love my dog voice. Hers walking down the hall like a big dump truck coming for dinner. Like, what's for dinner again, Dad? Oh, chicken? I love chicken.
That's my dog voice. Okay. Now, why am I talking about dogs other than...
Well, this was with Faith, a.k.a. the dump truck, a.k.a. the beast.
We made videos for some people in this room already, and one particular video I want to share with you is an ad. And when I started asking this particular attorney, Rick is in the back there, you know what he really loves. He loves pit bulls, and he loves rescuing pit bulls. And so I'd come up with this idea of like, well, let's put those dogs in the commercial. Because for starters, we don't care if they don't like us if we're a dog person. They're an asshole. We can all agree on that. Like, you don't have to be a dog person, but if you don't like dog people, guess what? You are an asshole. So let me show you a short ad that I believe illustrates all the points that Danny was teaching. But when you think about messaging, I want you to think about how this really separates him from any other tax attorney, okay?
Do you love pit bulls? Are you being bullied by the IRS? If you answered yes to both of those questions, then we're going to get along fine. I'm Rick Ebbinghaus, tax attorney. I rescue pit bulls, and I help people who need to get the IRS off of their back. Click the link below and learn what 3 things the IRS is always looking for.
Okay? I mean, that's solid. Like, you either are going to be drawn to that or you're not, right? And this takes something like tax stuff, which we can all agree, not sexy, but makes it like human, like makes this guy like, okay, I can get behind this. Now let's change the mood completely and talk about sexual harassment. Hard transition here. So with this client, Anna Yum, criminal defense out of San Diego, we had worked together, and she, her husband knows some tech stuff, and she was one of my early people where I was like, please get landing pages, please. I'm gonna, this is like last summer. I'm like, I know this stuff will work, right? So we had come up with this idea she was like, I want to do a webinar for sexual harassment, right? So this is the quick spot to the webinar. The call to action is the webinar.
Sexual harassment, it's not okay. Don't put up with it. Do not be a victim. Take the steps and learn the law. Click below to watch my webinar.
Like, that's obviously to a very targeted person, right? Very serious topic. No over-the-top performance. If you watch this woman, you believe she's gonna fight for you. And that's what we wanted. But during the process, I kept thinking, I don't know, if I was a victim, I don't know if I want to watch a webinar. Like, that feels like a lot. So I said, hey, you have the ability to A/B test. Let's shoot another one. Because one of her things during the webinar was all about documentation. And I realized, nobody knows how to document. How are you going to write about your sexual harassment? So what if the opt-in was a documentation guide, right? So we created this.
If you're experiencing sexual harassment at the workplace, you have more rights than you think you have. Knowledge is power. But remember that power starts with documentation. Create a written record of the harassment. Click below to get my documentation guide.
And this one outperformed the webinar like night and day, right? And you can see why, right? Because if you were given this guide, all of a sudden you have a place to start. And this can work with especially like family law, right? A financial checklist. What are you going to have? All those kinds of things. So this was their web page. Raise your hand if you can tell me one thing that we need to change with this right away. We didn't create this. One thing you've learned from Danny. What's wrong? Headline. The headline. Sexual harassment webinar sign up. That needs to be something more like, are you ready for the harassment to stop? Are you, ready to take action to gain your, control of your life back? Something more provocative, not just that. But, again, I had a client that's actually doing something, right? It's got a few reviews. The actual page is pretty simple. It doesn't go on long. So, now, after they opt in, whether it be for the checklist or whatever else, a great way to start connecting and creating, because again, here's the thing. We watch a lot of video, people tend to feel like they know you because they've seen enough video. They're like, I know this person, right? So if we add a simple thank you video at the end of an opt-in, it creates more connection. Here's a great example. Another person in the room, Michelle Wilson.
Thank you for requesting my video. Taking that first step is the first step toward a better future for you and your family. My name is Michelle Wilson, and I'm an elder care attorney. I know the information in the video will help you, but here's the thing. That video you asked for is not going to do you any good if you don't watch it. I get it. We get busy and distracted, and sometimes these emails end up in your clutter or junk mail folders, so remember to check there. In the meantime, feel free to call the office if you have questions or need us to send you a copy.
Okay? Here's what I love about this video. One thing, Michelle has great performance technique in it, right? She's like, the video's not going to do you any good if you don't watch it. She's basically saying, don't be an idiot, but in a real nice way. It really is. And this is the power of video. You get to use that emotion, the psychology to move somebody, right? It's not offensive what she's saying, but if you really understand the message, she's like, hey, look, you got to do something with the information, right? Okay, so this is one of our landing pages. I'll read it to you. Divorce options explained, from the kitchen table to the courthouse. To me, that's excellent messaging, right? Because who do you think this is more geared towards? Right, women, right? The wife, right? From the kitchen table to the courthouse. And the whole idea here is from basically simple divorce to complex, right? So there's a video that I'll...
Oh, hey,
there we go.
I'm glad you're here. Because if you're about to get divorced, you're probably a bit panicked about what lies ahead. And you may be unsure of what your legal rights are, or even where to begin. It's totally understandable for you to feel this way. But you can take a breath, because I know what you're going through, and I'm here to help. I have information for you that will change the way you view divorce. All of this can be overwhelming, for sure. But for starters, you should know that we have a team of divorce specialists who've helped hundreds of people get through their divorce, and we're ready to support you through yours too. It all starts with learning your options for moving forward. Options, you say? Most people assume that their only option is to run as fast as possible to the courthouse to beat their spouse to filing. That's not your only option, and honestly, it's usually your worst option. By entering your information here on this page in the box below, you'll have access to our free guide that explains your 4 options for getting divorced. This guide will cover the pros and the cons of each option and even ranks them for you. Once you're armed with this information, you can make the best choice for yourself and your family. Also, you'll learn that it's possible to get divorced without having to sell a kidney to pay for it, and without guerrilla warfare tactics. Divorce strategies are not one size fits all. Every situation is unique, and if you start your divorce on the right track from the outset, the entire process can go much more smoothly. But taking no action either means that nothing changes, or worse yet, it could mean that your spouse makes a move that sets your divorce down the warfare path, and it may be difficult or impossible to turn back from that. So don't wait. Enter your information below and check your inbox for the free guide. But if you need help immediately, please call us at the number here on this page.
Okay. You either get her or you don't, right? And there's, again, brilliant performance stuff in there, right? The languaging, her empathy, right from the get-go, she's basically like, hey, I know this sucks. I get it, that kind of thing, right? And she's basically setting you up to offer you what they want to do. She's going to steer you away from the courthouse from the beginning, right? And that's all done through the seeding right from that initial thing. So because of A and B, we have this page and we have this page, right? And now we can test them, okay? So this is basically just a slimmed down version, right? It's learn your options, learn the difference between mediation and collaboration, right? Want to save money for your divorce? You need this guide, right? Here's just a screenshot of the actual guide. It was a PDF. Inside the PDF, there's like, the 4 options, and we even did a little thing where we ranked them based on the $sign. This would be a screenshot of one of the emails that would go out, right? With our package, there's 9 emails because what we're basing our test on this idea that in general, people need to be touched 8 times, right? So that's where our logic is landing on this 9 email follow-up. This is an example of a video page. We're keeping the video pages very simple. You would click, watch the video, and the only option is to book a consult, period, right? And for her in particular, I believe it was set up on a Calendly link or something like that where you could schedule online. Any questions about that? Makes all kinds of sense? All right. I want to go through this offer one more time, if you will allow me. This was what I was supposed to do this morning until I found out at 8:30 things had changed, which is fine. I want to reemphasize we want to be your partner. By we, I mean Brittany and her team with me in there. And here's the thing. Is Danny in the room? He's still? Okay. Sitting down. So I'm going to call him out just a little bit. What he hasn't told you that to me should move the needle for some of you who are really still on the fence, he's going to be your CMO. He is the first one. He is going to be setting the standard. So if you think between my team and him, we're going to let you fail on this, you are sadly mistaken.
Or anti, but
we're going to make this work for you guys. So for our part of the package, I want to remind you, this is a done-for-you solution. It's going to include the landing page, the thank you page, the 9 email follow-up. All of that automation is built, okay? So I want to reemphasize, we're not going to work with Lawmatics or HubSpot or Infusionsoft. Our part is built on a platform called Kartra. That's not important. What's important is we're going to have the ability, and we will, get you every lead that comes in. Once they go through those 9 emails, if they don't take any action, they will be given to you so that you can put them into your own list. Does that make sense? And that's pretty simple as a matter of, as like you export an Excel type file and you import an Excel type file. The other thing that I want to remind you, we're going to have monthly meetings where you or your marketing assistant can come and get anything explained, simplified. If you wanted to add like a newsletter in there, we're going to be showing people how to create their newsletter within this platform, etc. We're going to be writing the copy based on what you've already started here, right? We probably will ask you to take your notes and type them up for us just so we don't have to read the handwriting. But just know that we're going to take what you've done here and then expand it, right? And then you would get final eyes on it before it went live, of course, all right? You're also going to get 15 videos with this program. And those 15 videos, here's the way we see them best being used. 2 ads promoting to that lead magnet, an opt-in video that you've seen, a thank you video that you've seen an example of. Your lead magnet can be video, it could be a video series, it could be a checklist, it could be something else, but we will have videos coming after without a doubt, all right? And then 8 videos to be used in the email follow-up, and then 2 testimonials. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm loving the fact that we can get your clients on a Zoom call, so it means no real interruption in their life. They don't have to come to your office or anything. They can just get on with one of our directors and tell their story, okay? So again, we're going to help you create that lead magnet, whether it be a lead series or something else. We're going to advise you on that. I mean, and the good news is, anytime something comes up where there's any question, we've got Danny basically going, is this what we've agreed upon, right? And so that's where I really love this partnership here. We're going to have the monthly reporting analytics. Danny will be able to read those as well and see those and see what's happening with all of these things. And again, A/B testing for this stuff so that we know we're really doing our due diligence to make sure we're getting this stuff right. And then those group calls, like I mentioned, that will go throughout the life of the funnel where you can always check in, and we're going to be tweaking and making sure that everything's performing because it's in our best interest to make it work, all right? So if you have any questions, we're obviously here tomorrow, and basically that's it for me.
Give it up for Jimbo, guys. Thanks, Jimbo. All right, guys, you kicked ass today. Thank you for sticking with it. This was like 9 hours of intense marketing blueprints. You guys did awesome. We are done. The good news is we made it really far today. That means tomorrow we're for sure going to be able to get through the content we need to get through pretty quickly. It's going to be a shorter day tomorrow. And I did that on purpose because I want to be sure that we have time. Probably tomorrow afternoon is going to be almost like study hall style, where if you still have questions, you can hang out. I'll hang out. We'll make sure that by the time you leave, you feel great about everything. But it's going to be a light day tomorrow. It's going to be fun. So give yourselves a round of applause. You made it through it. And I will see you all tomorrow morning, 9 a.m.